Oh, there we go. So, welcome everyone for some more Tier 3 action this time around. It's probably the most legendary track in all of F1, that is Monaco. And this is the 8th round of the ALR Season 13. My name is Alupallo and welcome on board for what will probably be the most exciting qualifying session of the season. Wouldn't say the same about the race, but at least it's gonna be interesting. That's for sure. So I've been away for a couple of weeks, so I better refresh my knowledge of the current championship standings at hand. So ex-Robin with 3 consecutive wins, leading the Drivers' Championship with quite a comfortable margin. 4 wins of 6 races on the entire season in 100 points. Behind of him, Sven, another Dutch person, in second with 81 points. He's rocking the AlphaTauri colors. And yet another Dutchie, Osvaldo Romeo, has the 3rd spot with 65 points. Hello, Said. I'm good. Trying to mentally prepare for the work week that is about to come, as on pure luck we get the first person around track, which is Corona. So Monaco track, and because it's a video game, we will do this on nighttime. The shortest track on the calendar, don't quite remember the exact length, but has exceptional permissions to be as short as it is, as tight as it is, to remain on the calendar. And yeah, there has been some discussion that does Monaco fit the Formula 1 calendar anymore, but here we still are every year. As Grone is furiously trying to warm up his tires. Let's take the all-important data. So yeah, in qualifying, Monaco is a bit tricky, as it's pretty difficult to let another driver past. You just need to do your runs pretty much full throttle and then get to the pits. Here's Grone now starting on his lap. Only DRS zone being the main straight into Saint-Devote. Very nicely over the curb and gets a good exit. There must have been some practice for Grone in the Red Bull. Casino corner pretty nicely. Goes down to the 3rd gear into Mirabel 1. Of course, purple first sector, as he's being the first car setting a timed lap. And into the 2nd Mirabel on Portier, down to the tunnel. Grone is seemingly keeping it pretty nice and tidy. Break at the 100-meter board into Nouvelle Chicane. And into Tabac. Carrying a good speed round through there into the swimming pool section. Clips the wall a tiny bit on exit into Rascas, which goes ways wide. And there's Grone's lap and his wing. Osvaldo, meanwhile, has retired from the session. He must have hit the wall somewhere around the track. As here's the lone Alpha of Luke, who's invalid. Mighty Jump seems to be the first driver to set a lap around the Monaco track. DRS wide open and it's a 1:16.05. And Robin goes 11.4. And oh, Mighty Jump has driven straight on. And that's the end of his qualifying. As Jamie with the Williams is now your poleman with the 10.9. Here's Fontenau, who has made a comeback. His first lap, not a representative time. Sven, interestingly, on the medium tires, probably still getting the feel around the Monaco track. Sets a 112.5. Sorry, 112.0, which is good enough for fourth at this point in time. One of the Alfa Romeos is coming across the line. It's Tichy, and he goes 7th. What about his teammate then? Arctic Squirrel. Arctic Squirrel crossed the line with the 17.4. Not really a representative time, as he goes wide and probably hurt his wing a bit. Here's Luke opening up the DRS, and it's still not going to be a very competitive time. Goes 8th with 13.5. For what I expect the pole time to be is probably somewhere in the 10.5 region, I think. As here's Booma. He's also on the medium tire. I better put the tires on display here to see what tires everyone's rocking. So Booma with the Haas crosses the line with the 12.0, which is good enough for 5th. A new name which I don't recall seeing, Kazel, has gone 3rd under my radar, now starting a lap, so let's stay on board with him. Booma, the nice admin he is, gets out of the way nicely. Into Casino, neat and tidy. Sorry, it was the other House of Major, of course. Into the Grand Hotel Hairpin. Pretty nice. Casa looking really to being on a really fast lap here. Breaks the 100-meter board, doesn't go too wide. Gets every inch on the inside on the Nouvelle Chicane. As Kazel here is looking to set a stronger of lap, is 4/10 up on his time. Seemingly going P2 with this lap, unless he can pull a rabbit out of the hat in Raskas, which goes neatly. And then through the final corner, DRS wide open. Kazel 9992 with the AlphaTauri improves but stays 3rd. Just short of X Robbins. X Robbins 5 times 1, 111, 111. And aforementioned Robin makes a mistake, and I think that's the end of his lap, which was in progress. Let's see if anyone's still on a lap. Here's Fontenau. Definitely not on a lap. And Castle just set his time, so I think that's starting to be the end of the first runs. Here's I think Kronap and Major are on their laps. There's Grona now, coming across the line to set the first time lap is 111.7, or more like 111.8. It's good enough for 4th, and Major with a 113.8. As our provisional pole sitter Jamie now on a lap is improving on his time by a tiny bit. Let's see what he can do. Neat and tidy through the pack, and 4/10 improvement coming right up. So Jamie is looking to really set the bar high on this run. There's an Alpha in the way, but I think he's gonna get away nicely. As Jamie opens up DRS, absolutely floors it, and the new pole time is 1:10.6 for Jamie. It's a really nice time from him. So a 5/10 deficit to Robin, who's gonna start his next round next. Meanwhile, Sven has swapped onto the softer compounded tires, looking to contest Jamie for the pole. He's having a good 4/10 improvement, so he's looking to go somewhere around 4th, unless he can find something magical around Raskas. Opens up the DRS, and let's see what he can do. Sven the man across the line with the 11.2. Goes 4th fastest, slots right behind his teammate. His Luke improves on his time by 4/10 and it goes 9th. The lone Alfa Romeo of Luke. And Benny pulls out the bunny of the hat as he improves massively to go 2nd with an 11.0. Still a good 3.5 tenths behind the pole sitter Jamie, but that still can change. Here's Zabmo, the lone McLaren. He's improving on his time by a whopping 8 tenths, but as the gaps are pretty spread out throughout the field, can probably go somewhere around 7th. As Zabmo round the final corner, DRS wide open. And Abmo across the line with a 12.6 goes 9th. He's able to retain the 8/10 improvement. As here's Arctic has improved, but really not contesting at this point in time. Here's Robin now, looking to complete his 2nd run. Is there gonna be an improvement for ex-Robin? Across the line with this 10.6 by 0.5 tenth. Is able to best Jamie on this occasion, so the fight for the pole is definitely on. Really good lap from ex-Robin, who has 3 consecutive race wins, looking to add on that. Here's Tichy, what about him? Goes 10th with a 12.6. With the final runs coming up next. Still plenty of qualifying action to go. Zamo I think he's done another fast lap right after that, and he's improving on his time by 2 tenths. Let's see if he can carry this over through the line. He's able to improve on his time by 3.5 tenths and goes 8th. Nice little improvements on positions all over. As here's Castle looking to get closer to the guys on top, and he's able to go to the 10s, 10.8 on his 2nd run. Still 2 tenths behind the leading pair. As there's a blue dot of Benny, who is the first to go under 10.6 with a 10.5. Grabs onto the pole position, at least for now. So Benny really signing himself up to the contention for the pole, as Booma has gone 6th with 11.4. So it's really heating up between the top 4 for the pole position. There's Jay O'Leary, who I believe is on a lap. Coming around Raskas now. But decides to enter the pits as just over 4.5 minutes to go in this session. And that's gonna mean everyone is gonna start to get ready for their final runs. Abmo decides to call it quits, probably to save a single soft set for the race, which is clever, considering it's Monaco and we're probably gonna see a full 4 safety cars. Grone has started what I believe is gonna be his final run. 4 minutes on the clock. He cannot make it to the pits unless he pits right after this lap. No improvements around the first sector. But still plenty of room to go. Ooh, the rear steps out just a bit there in the second Nouvelle. I mean, the second Mirabeau, sorry. And Grone is invalid, so that's the end of his run. If I was him, I would pit immediately or start to save ERS for the final push. It's just 3 minutes on the clock. Nobody except for Sven is on the lap right now. Oh, and Fontenau has now a 5-place grid penalty for blocking what I believe is the Aston Martin of Arctic, who is not even on a lap. Gotta love this game sometimes. Anyways, here's Sven coming now onto the Nouvelle chicane. Looks to be carrying a lot of speed through there. Same goes for Tabak. Now entering the swimming pool section. Purple on the second sector, but he's looking to contest his teammate for P4 at the moment, unless he can find something. In the final 2 corners, opens up the DRS, and Sven the man, with 1 run I think still to go, is able to set that 11-0, improves on his time, but not on his position. But he still has got 1 more lap, as Jamie has crashed into chicane to the inside wall, and that puts him out of the pole contention effectively. Wow. So it's gonna be between Robin and Benny Bunno now, as here's Grone running out the final corner with still time on the clock, no improvement, and stays 7th. But a shocker for Jamie. He could have surely contested for the pole. I mean, he's looked to be on pace the entire session thus far. So here's Fontenau, not improving on his time. What about the Aston ahead of him? I think they were starting their runs. Major starting on his final run. And so is Sven. So everybody basically starting their final runs now. With just a couple of minutes in the clock. Arctic Squirrel has crashed. And that's the end of his session. I'll stick to Boomer now as he's started his final run with 45 seconds on the clock. Who can grab the pole here? It's not gonna be Penny Bunno, or is it? He's on an outlap with still 40 seconds to go. It's going to be pretty tight to get onto the line. He needs to get away from the guys on the hot laps already. So is he going to have the time to attempt once more, as there's 20 seconds on the clock, unless it's bugged, I mean. Fontenau calls it quits, and I think he hit the inside wall as well. Oh, and here's Luke. Luke is also out, so plenty of people now out. Major being the first guy on a time lap with a 2/10 improvement. Would have need to improve a lot more if he wishes to improve on his position, but anyways, here's Major. Cross the line with the 12.9, stays 13th as the time runs to a close. Here's Sven, who has no time to start on another lap. So that's the end for him. Benny now looking to be the pole sitter, but ex-Robin surely has something to say about it, as he's not improving after 2 sectors. He's the outside wall. Is that gonna affect his performance enough? Is ex-Robin gonna be able to challenge for the pole? Ex-Robin round the final corner. Benny Bunno, can he beat him? Robin crosses the line and he's gonna grab the pole by 3/100ths of a second. Wow, talking about a buzzer beater, as he was the last guy to be on a hot lap on his final attempt, despite touching the wall on the outside after the swimming pool chicane, is able to take the pole for the Monaco Grand Prix here in Tier 3 tonight. So the guy with three consecutive wins from last 3 races is also going to be your pole sitter for Monaco tonight. And that's going to do it. Plenty of excitement, I mean. Jamie hits the inside wall on what I believe was his outlap. And ex-Robin with a buzzer beater, just 3/100 separate the top 2 guys. So ex-Robin on ball, Benny Bono with a nice display takes the second spot on the first row. Jamie goes third, Cassell fourth, and his teammates 1 and 5th. Admin Booma in 6th, completes the third row, Grone in 7th, Tichy 8th, Abmo 9th, Fonta 10th, and outside the top 10 we have Luke, Jay O'Leary, Major, Arctic Squirrel, Mighty Champ, and Osvaldo Romeo, who retired early. Of course, Fonta now with the 5-place grid penalty is going to start closer to the back. Now let's see what kind of a sludge fest is this going to be. As it's looking to be a dry race, at least we're going to start in dry conditions. I have the confirmation that it's going to be a dry, but there's 20% chance of rain, so there's a possibility. As we await for the start of the formation lap. So let's see the tire choices that everyone has. So interesting variety of tire strategies throughout the field. Ex-Robin from pole is going to start on the medium tire, whilst Benny behind him has opted for the hard tires. Booma and Luke Bayus are interestingly and more aggressively starting on the soft tire. But the thing is, around Monaco, if you get stuck on the traffic, it would be wise to just pit out of the way, get that clear air ahead of you, and already be on a harder compound tire in case of a safety car, because you can catch the pack relatively quickly, especially if it's bunched up, as it will be on the first few laps. So the other drivers starting on hard tires are closer to the back. There's Gronet, there's Tichy, Squirrel, Mighty Champ, and Osvaldo Romeo. As we get the possible race strategies on the screen, but you can throw those straight out of the window because it's Monaco and there's going to be 4 safety cars. "39 laps of pure carnage coming right up. The person who survives with the least amount of penalties and the least amount of wing changes is going to win here tonight. That much I tell you. Purely on pace, of course you need to have a good pace in order to contest for victory, but still those two key elements are the keys to victory tonight. And as we saw on Tier 2, basically just surviving to the end can guarantee your points, as we only need 6 retirements in order to get everyone finishing the race on points. As we really don't have a great camera angle, but let's see here. Now, 5 red lights. Is Benny gonna attack on the first corner? It's lights out and away we go. Wish I could see who got a better of a start. Robin is gonna be able to maintain his lead going around first corner. Everyone being very cautious around there, and seemingly everyone getting away well without any collisions. So at the top, the order is unchanged. Behind of them, some more changes probably, but the drivers need to be really careful now with the heavier fuel load. Going down to the Grand Hotel hairpin, where the traffic is going to be absolutely stationary. And all the drivers seemingly getting away pretty well at this stage, and Robin has already ripped a second of lead. So let's go on board with Jamie, who's chasing Benny on the harder compounded tire. And let's remember, it's Monaco. Every wall, every corner can take away pieces of your front wing and therefore completely wreck the front end of the car. But as we have nearly completed the first lap, it seems that there is no retirements as of yet. And just as I said it, there's yellow flags in sector 3. Something might have happened to Mighty Jump, but he stays out. And the first lap, at least we get through that. Oh, there's battling. Fontenelle, Major, and Oswaldo Romeo in a tussle. Major seemingly making way for the drivers ahead of him. Maybe if he has damage or something. As now Oswaldo is looking to attack on Fontenelle. Dives down to the inside on the stricken Mercedes as there's an end plate missing, and Fontenelle comes right back at him at the chicane. But Oswaldo seeming to be the victor on this occasion, as the gaps have now spread out a bit. Is Fontenelle gonna come back at him? Yes, he is, but there simply is no space on which to do the attack, as there's a mistake from Oswaldo. That's gonna allow Fontenelle to look onto the inside, and that's not gonna end well, and there must be some damage to Oswaldo now, as Robin is now hammering away. Jamie close to Benny still. DRS is gonna be available right now, as there's the race control notification. Probably the only overtaking opportunities are right into Saint-Devote, and Fontenelle pits now for damage repairs. The only overtaking opportunities are going to be into Saint-Devote and then into Nouvelle Chicane. Well, maybe into Raskas, but there needs to be a mistake of some sort. As we're already on lap 3 with no retirements thus far, let's see how far we'll get. So there's two main groups. There's clearly the front runners from basically from Robin to, I think that is O'Leary, so the top 10 pretty bunched up, and then the guys after that. Jamie's gonna be able to open DRS, but that's nowhere near enough good exit to contest Benny, at least yet. Let's see, a bit further behind. Abmo is pretty close to Tichy, running in 9th. Oh! And Luke Bayos has, I think he made a move around Arctic Squirrel, the soft against the hards. Sorry that I missed it, but into P11 goes Luke. The moves around Monaco are so rare. I'm gonna do my best and try to catch them all, but no promises, as there can be plenty of action throughout the field, as the front 4 are now seemingly running away, with Sven dropping back by around 2 seconds. Let's see, Benny now holding up a train with those harder tires, and the mediums working a bit better at this point in time, and Benny is really helping X-Robin, who sets yet another fastest lap, and X-Robin really needs to make that gap happen now if he wishes to cruise on for a comfortable victory. Nothing doing quite yet. As the closest things to a battle are probably Abmo against Tichy and this 3-car battle here. From the point of view of Gazelle. Oh, there's a mistake from Benny. Is Jamie gonna capitalize? He's deploying his ERS. Benny covers the inside. Is he gonna make the dive? No, he is not. He stays behind for yet another set of corners. But that's exactly the kind of mistakes Benny needs to avoid in order to keep the drivers on faster compound behind of him. But well done from Benny to cover the inside, because if you don't do that, then it's basically game over. I made one move stick around the outside, because it then becomes the inside on Nouvelle Chicane. I wouldn't recommend that though. There's no space, as is the habit around Monaco. But Benny definitely having some difficulties to defend the drivers on the softer compounds. As we've got five laps of racing under our belts and nothing major happening just yet. Benny hits the wall a bit and Jamie is now really close. Is he gonna look for a move going into Nouvelle Chicane? He is close enough, just 2.5 cents separating. Is Jamie gonna make the move? No, not yet. And Castle, of course, also looking really feisty there behind Jamie. So a bit of a Benny train forming. But the order stays as is as of now. Jamie, I think he might have hit a wall, but he's able to keep his both end plates, so nothing dramatic, but his heart must have been on his mouth there. There's major on Osvaldo, but wisely stays back for yet another set of corners. Oh, and Tichy Abmo capitalizes on a bad exit from Tichy and gets the move done. Up to P8 he goes, past Tichy. Nice work, Abmo. Now with some free air ahead of him, can try and catch into Gröna. 2.5 seconds is the gap. And slowly but surely Sven has crept up on his teammate, as Benny has been holding this train, but now he has broken away to an almost of second. But nothing too dramatic. I think the drivers might be just safely trying to manage the pace, stay away from the walls, and maybe the drama will soon follow towards the end of the race. Castle being very close to Jamie now, and Jamie does not have the DRS, but I think Castle had a bit too much wheel spin on exit and is not close enough to make anything happen. Meanwhile, Robin has dropped a half a second on Benny, and Benny's tires must have come alive as he's slowly chipping away the gap and has made some gap to Jamie now. Unless that little contact we saw earlier had impact on Jamie's front wing, as he's really seemingly struggling with Casal now. As through the tunnel we go. But Casal is just not enough. Not close enough. Abmo now looking to continue his hunt on Gröna. He really took that 2 seconds as Gröna hits the wall there and goes. Can Abmo capitalize? No, he can't. Gröna covers the inside line, but Gröna nearly made a mistake to cost him a position immediately, as Abmo has really looked to be on the fly after getting past Tichy. As Casal now gets really close going to Saint-Devote, but no move this time. What about this little battle then? The gaps are just not close enough. And I think Jamie might have some slight wing damage. He's really struggling to keep up with Benny. And also Benny has improved on his pace. Now as Robin has wing damage. I saw a glimpse of his left end plate and it was missing. It indeed is missing. So Robin definitely should look into pitting, or at least where will he come out if he stops for repairs now, as Major has done just that. He's pit for repairs. But now there's a train forming behind Robin. He must have clipped the wall somewhere. Benny's rear steps out just a bit, but this is a gift from heavens from Benny, as there's a yellow flag into chicane and there's a stationary car of Squirrel. Is that gonna be a safety car? No, he gets the wheels rolling just in time. And going to Saint-Devot, top 4 still stays intact. Benny Bunno now challenging for the lead, but there just isn't enough space going up the hill. He gets another yellow flag, and that is the Aston of Tichy. So a very dark couple of corners for Aston Martin, as Grona and Booma are the first to pit, the Dutch pairing. As Grona just makes it, and as I'm about to think and say something, Benny makes a mistake and Jamie capitalizes instantly. So Jamie up into P2. That's literally the only way how moves can happen around Monaco. There's a mistake and there's a driver who capitalizes it. Let's see, now there's Jamie now trying to attack really close to Robin. Is he gonna think for a move into Saint-Devot? He is clearly close enough. DRS wide open, deploying all of his DRS, but Robin just doesn't let up. I mean, Robin would probably have a gap to pit into free air. He definitely should look into that. As 10 laps are now behind us and there still isn't a safety car, which Robin probably is praying for. Jamie looking to the inside, really close, but Robin stays ahead. As the top 5 now all bunched up together. Guys really need to be careful here, as Robin with damage is gonna have to brake earlier. And Jamie on the hunt. Needs to capitalize if there is a mistake. Tichiboom goes for the pits. Probably for repairs after those couple of incidents. Robin is really tiptoeing around Tabak there, so that wing damage is drastically affecting his front end. If he can't get the rotation on the car, Monaco is a really tricky place to be. Robin stays out for one more lap, but Jamie now opens up the DRS when decides he's not gonna look at the traffic any longer and decides to opt for the pits. Is he gonna pick the hard tires? Yes, he is. And I believe he's gonna be nicely in free air. So that is, unless there's a safety car, I mean, that is the tactical choice to go for. On this Robin train, Benny hits the back of Jamie. Hopefully he hasn't got any damage, and Cazal nearly getting past Penny there. But still, the positions are unchanged. It's that Benny's little mistake there cost a second. And Jamie and Robin are running away with it. Osvaldo and Font are now into the pits. As Robin must be struggling. Yes, he is. He drops a full 2 gears going around to back, and there's just no confidence in his driving at the moment. He really needs to get that wing change once he decides to pit, unless Jamie is gonna get ahead first. Robin stays out for one more lap, and Benny Bono interestingly pits from the hard tire now to cover Sven. But is it gonna be enough? Has he lost too much time. Here's Sven now. Coming to Raskas, hits the wall. Hasn't lost an end plate. So Sven on Benny, it's gonna be really close. Benny now at the pit exit, and yes, Benny has lost that much time that Sven is able to clear him. So now if there's not gonna be another safety car, Sven is looking to be really strong to finish on top. As ex-Robin is costing time to Jamie and Casal both respectively with that wing damage. Jamie now literally pushing Robin's Mercedes through those corners. He's very close. Deploys ERS. Looks to the inside. Is he gonna make the dive? No, he is not. And Robin survives for one more set of corners, but that wing damage is deteriorating his pace. It's completely ruining his chances for a race win unless there is that safety car. Sven in free air is being rapid. And the next car being Jay O'Leary, who's got the pit soon as well. As there's yellow flags and TG Boom has retired, and so has Mighty Jump, and that's gonna be a VSC. But unfortunately for Robin, he has passed the pit entry. Now Jay O'Leary gets the free pit stop. Who else is gonna capitalize on that? Boom and Grona have both pitted already, so Jay O'Leary being the lucky and the reactive one. Now pitting onto the hard tire. Is the virtual safety car period gonna be long enough for Sven? And it is a full safety car, even though it says for me that it's a virtual one. So Sven might just be inheriting the lead of this race, as Robin has definitely got to change that wing of his. He's not gonna win anything by staying out on that broken wing. But sadly for Robin, he had just made it past the pit entrance once the incident happened, and now finally the game decides it's a full safety car. As we just made close to 13 laps of racing around Monaco without a safety car for the first one. I think that was better than what Tier 2 had, as into the pits must now ex-Robin come. So does Jamie and Castle respectively, and Abmo is gonna follow suit. Now let's see, Delta time, slowing Sven down, who's surely eager to just step on the gas and inherit the first position. Robin has changed his wing. Here's Sven now, and is able to rejoin in the lead. So Sven perfectly picking his moment to pit, with Benny now being the second car. Booma and Cassell jostling for a position, but the game decides it was Booma's, the fourth position. So the grid really got mixed up now for the safety car period, with the only penalized cars now being Arctic and Fonta now at the back, and I believe Fonta had a drive-through. But yeah, let's see the position changes at this point in time. So Sven makes the perfect strategy call to pit earlier and undercut the lead 4 cars. Onto the hard tire he goes and jumps to inherit the lead. Benny and Jamie are as they were. Booma being now 4th, and ex-Robin the biggest loser in the safety car period, but let's keep in mind he had to repair that wing damage. And I believe this is going to be a rather lengthy safety car period now that the grid is going to take some time to bunch up. Nobody got lapped though, so that's a good thing. As 4 more cars need to retire in order for everyone to score points. But that exactly is the key to success around Monaco. You cannot get held up by traffic unless you're waiting for a safety car, but As the lead 4 cars didn't cover Sven off, he's gonna get the reap the rewards. And the gap would be even bigger if it wasn't for that safety car period, I think. Because Sven got the run with 7 seconds of free air ahead of him. As I believe we're gonna have at least one more lap behind the safety car. And I, for myself, I'm gonna get a drink. So, the safety car should be out for one more lap. Let's see if that's gonna become reality. And it is. The grid hasn't caught up together, so. And also Casal losing out. Did he change his wing properly? He might have. Because now he is indeed ahead of Robin, but didn't clear the traffic, the cars that pitted earlier. And let's see now, for the tire choices, it's gonna be a stretch, but medium should go to the end. Maybe. It's definitely gonna be a stretch, at least for Grona, but there's bound to be another safety car period. The hard runners are gonna go to the end. Every one of them, as you should be able to run for almost of the whole race distance on the single hard tire compound. For the drivers that for sure have to pit are, I think Rone should have to pit once more. Maybe Osvaldo as well, and Fontana. But Arctic Squirrel is not going to take those softs for any more than probably 13 laps. As finally we get the notification from race control that the safety car will be in this lap. Let's pull up Sven's telemetry data to see the green bar there of the exact moment Sven decides to restart the race. In Tier 2 we saw restarts from only the final corner, so that the driver in his second position would be right on the apex, cannot pull the throttle. Let's see if Sven does the same. He decides to wait, and then he goes. Benny on the softer compounded tires, very well awake. Is he gonna look for a move? No. But one that is, Grone has had a nightmare of a restart. As Robin gets overtaken, there's a whole bunch of incidents and a whole bunch of cars without front wings. I think Grone and Robin made contact, and that caused a pile-up behind them. As there's now plenty of cars without wings. Cassell, Abmo, and Robin must have damage as well. Is missing an end plate. And there's plenty of drivers who need to pit for repairs after this one, and Jay O'Leary also without a wing. Drivers need to be extremely careful now, letting each other pass with when there's vehicles with damage. Luke looking to pass Abmo in the tunnel, and Abmo gentlemanly decides to let him pass. Really unfortunate for Cassell, I mean. And he's retired! Cassell hits the wall in Tabaka. That's got to be a safety car. That has got to be a safety car. No, it is not! This game just doesn't seem to stop to surprise me, as Robin opts for a wing change, as should the drivers who were involved in that pile-up. I didn't get to see whose fault it was as Osvaldo makes a move on Major. And into 7th goes Osvaldo. Yet another shuffle up for the grid as the lead 3 are within just a matter of 10th. And the race win seemingly slipping away from Robin's hands. As Benny looks for a move on Sven and he pushes him into the rear. Did he got damage out of that? As Benny can brake a tad bit later with the medium tire compound. Squirrel now right at the back of Fonta. But is in nowhere near of a place where he could be thinking of a move. But interesting to see if Benny has got damage from that earlier collision, as Jamie now really close. DRS gets enabled this lap, so maybe we will get to see some moves. Booma has pitted for what I think is going to be wing repairs. Should rejoin ahead of the people that were involved in the earlier crash though, as they had to go a full lap. As Jamie now really close to Benny. Does not think for a dive there. Jamie's been a real gentleman today. Hasn't really thought of any silly moves. As Benny goes really deep on the Grand Hotel hairpin. Drops a good 5/10 to Sven. Amazing how the game didn't think it would be a safety car once. Casal, who also looks strong to contest for a podium even. Sadly hits the wall and he's out as is Kroner now. He has hit the wall at the treacherous inside into Nouvelle chicane. Is that gonna be a safety car then? There's a car in the middle of track. A definite safety hazard, but the game is gonna decide it's completely okay to resume racing, for what it seems. And we are gonna get to continue as Jamie now is close to Benny, who has dropped now over a second to Sven. Has he got damage? That is the interesting question, as he's constantly dropping corner after corner. I think he just might. As Robin is now on full push mode, trying to catch Puma. Just got the new fastest lap of the race. But two incidents which definitely should have been safety cars. I don't know if it's on reduced for ALR. It's been a while since I've hosted the lobby, but those two incidents should have been safety cars. As into the wall goes Jamie and he's now missing an end plate. Is he gonna stay out? No, he's gonna opt for the repairs because he has got the cap. I think he's gonna rejoin somewhere on 5th with the wing change. Unfortunate mistake from Jamie, and that's gonna drop him out of the podium places, at least for now, as we have already passed the halfway point in this Monaco Grand Prix this fine evening. And Major also has to opt for what I believe is wing repairs, so that's gonna drop him as well. Meanwhile Robin enjoying the free positions, getting awfully close to Jamie. Rejoins now on the medium tire. Is Robin gonna find the space? Oh, it's on the inside of him. A bit of wheel banging, but Jamie narrowly misses out, and now on the cold tire has to settle. Settle to look at Robin's rear wing yet again. As Booma has now got two very fast drivers behind him. Incredibly close racing from the two. Albeit very respectful, I mean. That might have ended in a heartbreak. As this is now the closest thing to a battle. Robin hits the inside wall with the rear tire. That's gonna allow Jamie to get really close. I don't think he hit it with anything else, so I think he hasn't got any damage. Let's see, now Jamie awfully close. DRS zone coming right up. The exit from the final corner. The all-important exit. Jamie now almost pushing the Mercedes. Opens up the DRS. Deploys his battery, but backs off just before hitting the apex as there's a yellow flag, which is caused by Fontenau, who was for the pits. But anyway, now with that single mistake, Robin now drops 1.5 seconds to Buma. And is now struggling to keep Jamie behind. But Jamie's been a real gentleman. If we could give a gentleman award to some driver, it would definitely be Jamie. He hasn't done anything stupid. Just been playing fast. Jamie getting the better of exit. Is he gonna think for a move going into the Nouvelle chicane? No, he is not. And the positions stay as they are, as Benny has hit the wall somewhere and has opted for the pits to change his wing on another set of medium tires. That's gonna promote Luke in the podium positions. He has really crept up slowly but surely. And his teammate Osvaldo now also in third. Let's see, it's gonna be really tight with these two here. Where is Benny gonna join? He hits the inside wall and spins! Right after pitting, and now he must have all sorts of damage to his rear and front. He is missing an end plate, and that hit might have caused him rear wing damage, which is pretty lethal, especially around a track like Monaco. And he has now got to limp for almost an entire lap, and that's gonna allow Sven to inherit a 20-second lead to the point he can almost, if he keeps growing the gap to Luke, he can almost pit at the end if there's a need for repairs or for the fastest lap. So Sven now really comfortably in the lead, as this battle is still, or well, it's Monaco, but I mean kind of a battle. Puma's now still keeping these two very fast drivers behind, who had all sorts of feisty moments earlier on. Robin loses the rear just a bit, and that's gonna allow Jamie close, but Robin also has got DRS of his own, so no moves are gonna be made. But Jamie gets the better of exit. He's gonna go for the outside, deploys the ERS. Whoa! Robin is gonna stay ahead, at least for now. Jamie thought for a move in a very unorthodox place. Let's see now, going into the first Mirabeau. Robin covers the inside, and that's the end of that, at least for now. Osvaldo now also struggling. And there's a new train forming behind Luke. And Luke is doing God's work for Sven, who's grown his gap over the course of the last lap. And Robin cuts the corner, lets the people back past, but is now penalized by a hefty 5 seconds. He must have missed the braking and then evaded the cars in front. That's not gonna be a good look for him, as the gaps are really close together. Boom! And now looking to the inside, going into the final corner, but there simply is no space, and Robin must have had some sort of damage as he opts for the pit. So our drivers really providing the entertainment here, as Jamie's yet again stuck behind another car. Jamie would have so much more pace if it wasn't for the traffic. And Jay O'Leary is able to clear the rejoining Robin, who has wheel spin on the cold tires and loses yet another wing. At this rate, Robin has a struggle ahead of him to finish on the points even. As here's Buma on Osvaldo. Is he thinking for a move? He thought of it going to the inside, but then thought better of it. And the exit of Nouvelle, nobody really gaining an edge. There was a brief yellow flag moment in the first Mirabeau, and I think it was major, but All the drivers still carrying on. As Puma is now really determined to make a move in Monaco. Past Osvaldo, really needs to ace this exit. Opens up the DRS, which Osvaldo now has lost. Deploys his ERS. Are we gonna see a move into Saint Devote? No, we're not. At least not yet. Going up the hill, there's just no space. It's extremely rare to make a move stick right there. Let's see now, going to the first Mirabeau. Osvaldo covers the inside and makes that Alpine just too wide to be thinking of anything. As into the pits now go Robin and Major. Oh, and there's a VSC, and Buma gets a 5-second penalty for colliding with Osvaldo. Not entirely sure what has caused the virtual safety car period, but is it gonna escalate for a full safety car? Because if it is, Sven is gonna be swearing in his cockpit, because he's got a comfortable lead of almost 30 seconds to his name. And now laps the unfortunate car of Major and Fonta, who had to off for the pits. And it's back to green flag racing. Arctic has now a drive-through, so Sven will survive another day. But this battle is still raging on as Buma is literally pushing Osvaldo through these corners on his contest for the final podium position. Drivers really close together, and the laps are wearing down. Jamie has a look yet again, but does not try anything silly. And both of the drivers ahead of Jamie are covering the inside. There's just nowhere to go. Let's see from Jamie's perspective for change. Is Luke also just a second ahead on the harder compound tire, but Osvaldo with 16 laps in those mediums, there might be some wears. There's contact. Jamie now looking to the outside of Buma, who makes a move on Osvaldo. Osvaldo cuts the corner. Jamie gets past Buma, who goes all out of position, and Osvaldo now struggling with the wear, is still keeping the drivers behind, but Jamie capitalizes on the mistake and is now gonna have a go at Osvaldo, with both of the drivers now penalized, Osvaldo and Buma respectively. Buma was the unfortunate party in that incident, as Osvaldo's Alpine is just too wide to think of anything. But Jamie is for sure gonna have a go as he's almost pushing that Alpine. Looks to the inside, but just has wheel spin and doesn't go for a move into the first Mirabeau. These drivers really close together, with Osvaldo with for sure what is going to be a whole lot of wear on those mediums. 17 laps in them, and they're going to struggle to go to the end. Jamie now less than a tenth back, deploys ERS, looks to the inside, but backs out at the final minute. Osvaldo cuts the corner yet again, and that has got to be a warning. Jamie now looks to the inside on the back and makes the move stick. Buma is looking to make the same move, but hits the wall and loses the wing. Osvaldo might just get penalized from that, as into the pits now both Osvaldo and Buma are gonna head, and Jamie says thank you very much and is now going after Luke. With much fresher tires, Osvaldo's teammate Benny has also crept up to P4, with Ammo now inheriting the 5th position. And Osvaldo and Buma both are going to drop back so much with those wing repairs. Still in the points though, with just two more drivers need to retire in order for everyone to score points. Jamie now, as expected, has catched up to Luke. Really close behind of him. Is he gonna deploy his ERS and go for a move into Nouvelle? that we will see. No, not quite yet, but really opportunistic move there when Osvaldo went wide on the back. And Jamie just stuck his nose on the inside, carried so much more speed, and was able to make that happen. Fantastic move from him. If you ask me, Jamie is the driver of the day. Benny is the next driver penalized for multiple warnings. And let's see now if we're gonna see a move into Saint-Devote. Luke unleashing every horsepower he's got in that Alfa Romeo, with Jamie with DRS behind of him. Can't quite get close enough. Oh, but hits the outside wall, and Jamie looks to the outside, going up the hill. Guys, be careful. Side by side the two drivers go, and through goes Jamie. Back into P2. That was a real heart of the month moment there. Jamie executing that very brave move around the outside. Really good racing from the driving pair, as Benny is now the next driver to go after Luke, who's got a lot older tires in that Alfa Romeo is. With Benny being penalized, Luke is now looking to perhaps finish on the podium even. Osvaldo with the fresh tires is now chasing after Jay O'Leary. I've almost forgot about Robin, but he's picked up the fastest lap of the race, and also a fresh set of softs. Let's see now, Benny the next one to attack Luke. DRS wide open, but he's staying behind for now. Plenty of laps still to go and all to be lost, so the drivers need to be extremely careful. As Luke awfully slow going up the hill. Is there any damage? As Benny hits the inside wall. And I think he might have gotten some damage out of that. Yes, he's missing yet another end plate, so that's gonna hamper his chances on attacking Luke, who I think has an intact front wing. Don't know. Osvaldo now looking to attack Jay O'Leary. Much fresher tires. Run Portier, there you go. Portier, there you go. Into the tunnel. Osvaldo deploys his ERS. Is he gonna think of anything going into Nouvelle? No, not at this time. And the positions are gonna stay as they are. With Sven now looking to cruise on the victory. He's got that much of a gap, he could think of going into the pits and getting another set of softs to really secure the win. And perhaps the fastest lap even. As Jamie is chipping down on his gap, so Jamie has taken 5 seconds of Sven with the fresher rubber already. And there's yet another Luke terrain forming, as Abmo has now also caught up to these two. The gap's being nowhere near close enough, as Fonta now has made a move past Major into Saint-Devote. Really nice. Fonta has got a penalty though, so he needs to really pull a gap on Major if he wishes to keep that position. With Robin being 6 seconds behind. Let's see the penalties. So just 3 seconds penalties of Benny, Osvaldo, Buma and Fonta. Seemingly not affecting. As Benny Bono has retired from the session. He's lost the car in the final corner and the safety car is out. Safety car is now out, and let's see where's Sven. Sven is in the tunnel. That massive gap is now gonna melt and the grid is gonna be punched up together. And now the 3 second penalties are really gonna go into effect, as the first drivers to pit are Leary, Buma, Osvaldo who all make it to the pit right after the safety car comes out. That's massive looking at the finish of the race we're gonna have. We're gonna have a 3 to 4 lap sprint going to the finish, and surely Sven has to pit. And he does. To what I believe is gonna be the soft tire, but a massive turn of events. Sven was looking to cruise on to take a comfortable win, but all that's changed in a heartbeat. As Benny Bono, who had a strong race, who was probably gonna finish somewhere around 4th, maybe even contest for a podium, he's out of the race after an unfortunate mistake in the final corner. Sven, of course, able to rejoin back in the lead, so Jamie pits as well, and as should Luke and Abmo. So everyone, it's gonna be a massive reset. Oh, so Benny, did you have rear wing damage from earlier? Was it that spin you had on the pit exit? Yeah, I get it. Rear wing damage is horrible in this game anyway. You just simply lose all ability of rear grip. Unfortunate. You could have had good points out of there, but next week we go again. Luke, interestingly, on the medium tires, he must have run out of soft tires to run, but still could have easily picked the used ones. And Abmo is now has now jumped Luke as well, so yeah, it's gonna be an interesting finish. And now the 3-second track limit penalties which Buma, Osvaldo and Fonta have are gonna come into play. And Robin, whom I almost forgot earlier, has now crept up back into the points. So one more retirement is needed for everyone to score points. I wouldn't have it any other way, Benny. I mean, popcorn, beer, and hopefully some overtakes around Monaco. Nothing too crazy though. We don't want to see any more retirements, even though I constantly call it out at how many retirements are required for everyone to score points, but still, it's gonna take a good while for everyone to catch up on the safety car, so let's see if some gaps are gonna be intact, as Jamie, most crucially, has got up to Sven. There's one lapper between them, the car in 10th position, Major. So Sven is probably gonna get a second of gap to Jamie right at the restart. I mean, the races I've seen of Tier 3, there hasn't been too many dirty drivers or anything stupid really. And you guys had way less safety cars than we did in Tier 2. But if you're watching the race back, you really should see the retirements of Casal and Grone. They would have been a clear as day safety car in real life. 100%. 100 times of 100. As the safety car is going to be around for one more lap at least. It's going to take a good while for the grid to punch up. Sven must swear in his cockpit he had this race in the bag. It was looking to be a sure victory. With 25 seconds to the next car. I think this is the lap that the safety car is gonna come in. He's gotta come in. Yeah, but I mean the pixelated FIA is just... it's also drunk all the time. Just wait and see. Just watch it back. Those two retirements were silly. I mean... oh! Major hits the back of Sven. That might have been a 5-second time penalty, which of course could have gotten removed. But if Sven has rear wing damage now, that could spice things up even more. And apart from the cars that have been lapped, the grid is now together and the safety car will enter the pits, I'm pretty sure of it. And it's gonna be a 2-lap sprint to the finish, as we like it. A very nice angle of the harbor there. There we go. Now, let's see Sven's telemetry. When he decides to go, he's got... Jamie is probably the biggest challenge that he's got. And Jamie has lost the rear! I jinxed it! Commentator's curse! Jamie's now got front wing damage and he's gonna struggle to keep the others behind, so he was trying to warm up the tires and lost the rear completely. And Sven has now went. With Major being the lap car there in between. Luke was thinking of having a move around Abmo, and Luke unfortunately gets a 3-second penalty, which is pretty lethal this late. So drama late here. I jinxed Jamie so bad. I'm sorry if you're watching this back. I mean, jeez. But Sven now with 2 seconds of lead. Jamie struggling to keep Abmo behind. He must have gotten damage. I saw it. I mean, let's see Major's rear. Yes, he is missing an end plate on his front wing. So Abmo might be now contesting for the win. Sorry, for the second place, because Sven just needs to keep this clean and away from the walls, and he is gonna be your winner of the Monaco Grand Prix. And Jamie has got to make himself as wide as possible. He's really struggling with that missing end plate. And Abmo really needs to make the move. As the final lap is underway, Sven with 5 seconds of lead is gonna win unless there's something extremely dramatic. Abmo leaves the braking very late. Isn't able to make the move just yet. Jamie now tiptoeing with this stricken Williams. Coming up to the first Mirabeau. Abmo to the inside. Who's gonna break the latest? And it's Abmo. He's into the second place. Plenty of fighting going behind of him as Booma is trying to clear Jay O'Leary. Sven has just off into the distance and he's gonna win. But Abmo with a crucial move going into the first Mirabeau is now your second place driver. Is there gonna be anything dramatic into Nouvelle? No. The gaps are too big for anything dramatic to happen, but Jamie now really struggling to keep Luke behind him. And has he got even more damage? Yes, he has. He's missing an entire wing, and Luke looks for a move. Cannot make that happen. Sven has rounded the final corner, and he's gonna win your Monaco Grand Prix. Going into Raskas. Oh, and he hits the inside wall. But even with the stricken car, Abmo is gonna finish second. Jamie third. Luke is gonna be fourth, but drop back with penalties. Jay O'Leary in fourth. Wow, what a finish. Jamie had all to play for, but lost out in the end. Was able to limp home in third though. And a crucial move from Abmo. I don't know, Benny, that was crazy. But the win was Sven's, I mean. That strategy move he made earlier in the race, that just belonged to him. And raises the winner's trophy. And is gonna spray the pixelated royalty of Monaco. But anyways, here are your final results of this race. Craziness in the final laps, but Sven comes home to pick up the win. With Abmo with the very nice drive from 9th in the grid, making 3 stops. Comes home second. Jamie with an unfortunate turn of events there late. Breaks his front wing and loses out to Abmo. But still a nice day for Williams, picking up the 3rd and 4th positions. Jay O'Leary from 11th in the grid is able to finish 4th. Luke in 5th. Robin, whom I forgot, his win streak has just snapped. Ends up finishing 6th with the fastest lap. with Puma in 7th, Fontenau miraculously in 8th. He was running at the back basically the entire race. Oswaldo in 9th, Major in 10th, and Arctic Squirrel, the unfortunate one to finish last of the running cars and out of the points. Now, that was a finish and a half. Anyways, massive congratulations to those finishing on the podium. Next week we are going to be doing Abu Dhabi, so make sure to tune in for more ALR action in Tier 3. After that exciting race, we're all gonna need a breather. I for sure, I know I am. Anyways, my name is Hallopallo. You were watching Aero League Racing Tier 3. We will see you next week on Thursday with Tier 2 and Tier 4. And have the best night.